Hello friends, in this session we'll discuss scientific management theory. In classical theories of public administration, one of the most famous theory, scientific management theory. This scientific management theory was propounded by Frederick Winslow Taylor. We also call this scientific management theory as Taylorism. Let's discuss in details regarding scientific management theory. First of all, what is science and what is scientific method and who coined the term scientific management, we have to understand. What is science? Science means systematic investigation of truth. Or you can say science is something which is verified truth. Universally accepted is called science. And scientific method means those methods which are based on science. And here, for the first time, in theories of public administration, the term scientific management was coined by Louis Brandeis in the year 1910. Louis Brandeis coined the term scientific management. However, it was Taylor who used the term and gave systematic explanation of scientific methods and techniques for promoting organizational efficiency and economy. Hence, we can say Taylor as father of scientific management theory. In US industries, in organizations, after First World War, there was acute shortage of production in industries. That's why there was a search for a method in which industries can boom their production. In the meanwhile, Taylor came with a technique, with a theory that helped a lot to give best output in industries and produce more goods and services. And this particularly focuses the production aspect of organization. We cannot say that Taylorism or scientific management was not available before Taylor. There are a number of persons, Gant, Emerson, Gilbert, Barth, Cook, Thomson. In an earlier time, they also contributed a lot towards the growth of scientific management. However, Taylor was the first person to give a systematic and detailed explanation of scientific management theory. So that's why Taylor is regarded as father of scientific management theory. And this theory became so popular, it spread from USA to other countries like Russia, where it is known as Stakhanovite movement. During 1920s and 40s, in Russia it is known as Stakhanovite movement. It was very popular in USA and also European countries. Even also in Asia, Japan, India, many countries adopted in modern times also scientific management theory or Taylorism. Let's discuss the basic theme of this scientific management theory. According to Taylor, management is a true science which clearly rests upon fixed laws, principles, rules, regulation, which is accepted universally in all types of organization. According to Taylor, same principles can be applied with equal force to all social activities, to the management of our homes, farms, business, large or small businesses, churches, everywhere, philanthropic associations, universities, schools, colleges, government departments, secretaries, everywhere, according to Taylor, this is applicable. Scientific management was concerned with the application of scientific methods to managerial practices and production processes in industrial organizations. I have already explained that scientific management theory focused on the lowest level of organization for producing more and more things in organization. And scientific management theory stressed upon specialization, predictability, technical competence, rationality for improving organizational efficiency and economy. This scientific management theory based on 4 major principles. First principle is develop a science for each element of man's work in organization, and it also tries to replace the old rule of thumb, or you can say old method of doing things in organizations with a new best way of doing task. That means you can say this scientific management theory says that rule of thumb, traditional methods must be replaced with scientific methods, or you can say one best of doing task which is guaranteeing to produce more things in organization. Second, this principle says scientifically select and train the workmen in organization. In other words, you can say scientific selection of workers in organization is must to produce more things. Thirdly, management should fully cooperate with workers, which later on you will know that the relationship in between workers and management is known as mental revolution. Okay, let's discuss mental revolution for few minutes. Mental revolution, according to Taylor, is that the harmonious cooperative relationship in between workers and management. And without mental revolution, without cooperation in between top level management and bottom level people in organization, there is very difficulties you will face while doing things in organization, and it will affect the production factor. That's why mental revolution, or you can say the cooperation in between management and workers, are inevitable, which is essential for production part. Fourthly, there must be equal division of work and responsibility between management and workers in organization. That means division of work and responsibility is also one of the most important principles of SMT, scientific management theory. In sum total, you can say Taylor identified few characteristics of scientific management. You can say, in short, science not rule of thumb, harmony not discord, cooperation not individualism, maximum out in place of restricted output, and development of each man to his greatest efficiency and prosperity and capacity building. So these are the things which comes under principles of scientific management theory. And I have explained mental revolution. Mental revolution is nothing but the cooperation. It's a new outlook in between workers and employees, workers or employees and the top level management for better production. This is the thing you have to remember. Now we'll discuss the techniques of scientific management theory. First technique, functional foremanship. What is functional foremanship? Taylor advocated that there should be 8 functional foremanship, or you can say specialized supervisors, and he rejected the single foremanship, that is unity of command or linear system or military type of organization in which unity of command exists. Unity of command means a person receiving or many persons receiving orders from one boss only. So Taylor rejected single bossism and adopted functional foremanship, and this functional foremanship comprises 8 persons. Number 1, order of work and route clerk, second instruction card clerk, third time and cost clerk, fourth sub-disciplinarian. These are the four which are responsible for planning, and the executive part or implementation part is rested with four other persons, like you can say gang boss, speed boss, inspector, repair boss. You have to remember that for planning 4 functional foremanship out of total 8 functional foremanship, like order of work and route clerk, instructor clerk, time and cost clerk, sub-disciplinary, they are responsible for planning. But for implementation, other 4 persons or functional foremanship, you can say that is gang boss, speed boss, inspector, repair boss. These 4 persons are responsible for education part. Then we will discuss motion study. The second technique, motion study, it is a technique of standardization of work method. In brief, it is nothing but to find out one best way to do a work. So motion study is related to one best way of doing a work. Then time study, it is used to determine the standard time for completion of work. It facilitates planning of large daily tasks and follows motion study, and in which stopwatch is used, or you can say for time study stopwatch is used, and which is essential technique. Then differential piece rate system. Taylor suggested pay by piece rates, that is on the basis of standards set by motion and time studies. Hence his pay plan, also known as differential piece rate plan. Now we'll discuss exception principle. It involves setting up large daily tasks by the management with reward for achieving targets and penalty for not meeting it. That means you can say that Taylor suggested the managers should not be interested in items that are not at standard performance, but should be concerned most with exceptional items that vary from standard performance. There are other techniques also, you can say, like instruction card routing system, modern cost system. There are so many techniques, but these are the important techniques of scientific management theory you have to remember. Lastly, I will say the criticism, or you can say why Taylorism was criticized. Actually, many thinkers, they criticized and opposed this scientific management theory because they consider that this scientific management theory is a mechanistic theory of organization. What is mechanistic theory of organization? Mechanistic theory of organization means the scientific management theory neglected the human side of organization. Or in other words, you can say that this theory considered humans as cog or parts of machine, and there was no recreation facilities, no you can say chance of making fun and recreation, all these things. So that's why it was criticized as a mechanistic theory of organization. Secondly, many criticize it is a partial theory of organization because this theory emphasized more on subfloor management or in the bottom level management, bottom level work, because at the bottom of organization, workers, they work more and more to give best output to the organization, and it did not try to integrate more in between higher level of organization to the lower level organization. However, you can say in mental revolution, scientific management theory tried to build a bridge in between higher officials and the lower workers. However, it was not sufficient, as the critics said. And this theory was described as physiological organization theory by March and Simon. March Simon said this scientific management theory as a physiological organization theory because of his more concern on the range of workers' behavior with respect to production only, forgetting the psychological or mental aspect of workers, how the workers feel, how the workers feel during work. The scientific management theory neglected. And this scientific management theory greatly opposed by trade unions or labor leaders. It received greatest opposition from trade unions because the application of terrorism, you can say, created a dispute in between employers and workers. And Robert Huxley was a professor who said that basic ideals of scientific management and labor union, or you can say scientific management and labor union, there was no compatibility. That's why it is criticized. Next one is, it was opposed by managers. Why managers opposed scientific management theory? Because they will lose their judgment capacity and discretion due to adoption of scientific methods. They also opposed because their work and responsibilities increased due to application of terrorism. That means terrorism increased the responsibilities, the work pressure on management. That's why managers also oppose this scientific management theory. However, you can say that scientific management theory propounded by Frederick Winslow Taylor greatly influenced the industrial setups in the US and also many parts of the world in terms of production. This is the thing you have to remember. Thank you very much. Wish you happy learning. Thank you.